Chapter 7 Old Feelings, New Reality. Life in the estate changed completely. Julian spent every free moment at the cottage. He cancelled meetings, rescheduled appointments, and left work early just to be with Liam. He was learning how to be a father, and he was good at it, patient, kind, and endlessly fascinated by his son. But being around Elara every day was torture and heaven combined. The old awkwardness was gone. The coldness was gone, but in their place was a heavy, charged atmosphere. Every glance held meaning. Every accidental touch sent sparks flying. Every conversation danced around the giant truth: they were still married in their hearts, even if legally they weren't. One afternoon, rain trapped them inside the cottage. Liam was napping upstairs. Julian and Elara sat in the small living room, close together, listening to the storm. "You never talk about him," Julian said suddenly, breaking the silence. "The man you loved. The reason you could never love me back." Elara looked down at her hands. He was someone from before. Someone kind, gentle, free. "We couldn't be together because of family pressure. When I married you, I thought I had to forget him. And eventually, I did." She looked up at Julian. "I realized something a long time ago, Julian. I realized that the man I thought I loved was just a dream. An idea. But you were real. You were there every day. You were solid, even when you were cold. You were loyal, even when you were distant. I think I fell in love with you slowly, without even noticing, right around the time you decided to divorce me." Julian leaned forward, his breath catching. "You loved me. I didn't know it then," Elara admitted. "I thought the ache in my chest was sadness for my lost dream. But it was sadness for losing you. I cried the day you signed those papers. Not because I was free, but because I thought I had lost the only man I would ever truly care about." Julian reached out and took her hand, holding it tightly. "We were fools," he whispered. "We spent 6 years together, living in the same house, sleeping down the hall from each other, both hurting, both lonely, both secretly caring, and neither of us said a word." He moved closer, his eyes searching hers. "And now that we know everything, now that we have Liam, now that I have spent every day seeing you as the incredible woman you are, Elara, I am in love with you. I have been for years. And I am not letting you go again." Elara's heart hammered against her ribs. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to fall into his arms. But fear still lingered. "What about the past, Julian? What about how we were? What if we go back to being strangers?" Julian shook his head fiercely. "Never. I have changed. You have changed. We have a son who deserves a family. And I deserve a chance to make it right. To love you properly. To be the husband I should have been from day one." He lifted her hand to his lips and kissed her knuckles gently. "I don't want to just be Liam's father, Elara. I want to be your husband. For real this time." Chapter 8 Obstacles and Doubts. Not everyone was happy with the changes happening at Vance Mansion. Julian's family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, were shocked and unhappy that Elara was back, that she had inherited part of the estate, and most of all, that she had a son. A legitimate heir. Someone who now stood to inherit everything. They started whispering. They started plotting. They started planting doubts in Julian's ear. "She tricked you once, Julian. She'll do it again. She only came back for money. She hid the child for 5 years, what kind of mother does that?" Julian heard it all. He defended Elara fiercely, but the seeds of doubt were planted. Old habits die hard, and Julian had spent a lifetime being suspicious and guarded. One evening, he came to the cottage looking tense and troubled. He found Elara reading a storybook to Liam. The sight of them, his perfect little family, softened him instantly, but the worry remained. Elara, he waited until Liam was asleep. People are talking, saying things about why you really came back. Elara stood up, her expression hardening. You think I came back for money? You think I stayed hidden for 5 years just to come back and grab a fortune? I don't know what to think. Julian snapped, frustrated. I know I love you. I know I love Liam. But I also know you are capable of keeping huge secrets from me. You hid my child. You hid your feelings. How do I know you aren't hiding something else? Elara stared at him, hurt and angry. Because I stayed away, Julian. I lived simply. I worked hard. I raised your son to be kind and good, far away from all this wealth and greed. I didn't need your money then, and I don't need it now. I came back for Arthur. And only for Arthur. She grabbed her coat. You want to doubt me? Fine. I will leave. Tomorrow. I don't need this. I don't need your family's judgment. And I certainly don't need your mistrust. She stormed out, leaving Julian alone in the cottage, surrounded by the evidence of her love and goodness. He spent the whole night walking the estate, thinking. Remembering how she was 6 years ago, quiet, loyal, generous. Remembering how she was now, brave, loving, protective. Remembering how she looked at Liam, and how she looked at him. He realized then that his doubt wasn't about her. It was about him. He was so used to people wanting him only for his money or power, he couldn't believe someone could love him just for him. He realized that hiding Liam wasn't an act of betrayal, it was an act of survival. She had been terrified of the man he used to be. I am still fighting ghosts, he thought. Just like before. But this time, I can't let the ghosts win. By morning, his mind was made up. He had to fix this. He had to prove to her, and to himself, that he trusted her completely.